Ma'am.
Gunan,
Present, ma'am.
Mohammed Hamid, Hamid, Ahona,
Present, ma'am.
Subhadeep. Okay, Isaac, send me a message. Sumit,
Yes, ma'am.
Umesh,
Present, ma'am.
Antarpreet,
Present, ma'am.
Tanushri. I think I've seen her. Tanu is here. She's here. Then Shahbaz
Yes, ma'am.
Singh. Shahbaz Singh. Till now, two are not having here attendance. Hamid and Shahbaz Singh. I think all others are here. Let me check again. Okay. Kuwal is here. Okay. Mohammed Hamid. Okay, I think he has not joined us. So let us wait for 2-3 more minutes and then we will start with the presentation. But any doubts if you have regarding the first unit? So let me start with the introduction of what we are going to start today in the second unit. In this second unit, we are going to learn about the basics of the sequence and series. As a series, we are going to learn about the arithmetic series and the geometric series. Two series are there in the course, and then we are going to learn the well-known binomial equation, which is actually used to find out the expansion of x plus y raised to power n or 1 plus x raised to power n, or might be some other different expression of this type. Means I have a plus b, that can be 1 or any other thing raised to power some number. So that is a binomial theorem, and all this concept is taken from the NCERT book. It is not in the 12th, it is taken somewhat from the 10th and from the 11th NCERT. So if you have that books, that's good. You can practice from there. Some questions I have also added here, and if you do not have these books, then you can download it from a link. I will share the link with you because nowadays, due to this lockdown and all that scenario, CBSE is providing all the NCERT book free to download. Correct? So if you will ask, I will share the link with you. You can download at your own pace whatever the things are required. Correct? Um, 2 more minutes we have to wait, and then if Hamid is there, it's fine. If he is not here, then also I will mark the attendance as absent, and then we will start. Till then, you can revise, and all of you can have the PPTs. Already, I have uploaded in the morning, so you can have from that PPT. If something is there which is not clear to you, or you have not gone through the syllabus, see the syllabus already that is already uploaded by me. So, anything to be discussed? And in between, if you're getting some doubts, you can write down to me on the LPU live, or you can write down here in the chat box during the lecture. I think it's not coming. So let us start, and in between, I will mark the attendance as final because otherwise it will be late if we will have to wait for. Hope so. The screen is visible to all of you, and the voice is audible. Hmm? If any doubt you are getting, or any technical problem you are getting, doesn't matter. You have not to bother about that, because at the end I will today I will do, because last time I have not done, we have done with the second class, that I will upload the YouTube link and you can go through it. Correct? The last lecture I have recorded, so I will upload that also, and today's lecture also has been started for the recording, so I will upload this also. But be sure not to leave the class, because still attendance is to be finalized and you have to learn. Correct? So let's just start with the unit 2, sequence and series binomial theorem along with. So what a sequence is, this is the first thing we have to learn for. Sequence is a function whose domain is a set of consecutive natural number. Till now, I think we are aware of what a domain is. We have learned about this in the relations and functions. Now we are saying sequence is also a function. This is the one thing. What sequence is, it is not a different thing. It is just a type of function whose domain is a set of natural number. We are going to start with a natural number beginning with 1. Okay? And here we are not saying anything about the codomain or the range. We are just sure about that we are going to start with a set of natural number as a domain. Okay, I think Hamid is here. Good. Wait, please. Chal. All are present. Good. So we have total 13. Hamid, if you have joined us, I have marked your attendance. That's good, but be sure to be on time. Okay? It's already 12:11 and we were just waiting for you. Chale. Let us start with the things. We have started with the dot sequences. So it is a function whose domain is a set of natural number. Consecutive means 1, 2, 3, 4 like this. Correct? And if it is stopping at a particular point, then it is obviously a finite sequence, or it could be up to infinity. So we can say it is an infinite sequence. Why we are saying infinite sequence? Because now if we are talking about natural numbers, so there is no end of the natural number. It's extended. No, there is no limit. So actually we can say it is a countably finite set. We can count, but actually it is infinite. So here we are saying the first thing, a sequence is a function. You have to learn the definition also because it will help you in understanding the thing. So what we are saying, a sequence is a function whose domain is a set of natural number beginning with 1. Correct? And here we have seen that, for example, this following equation, how we have written the equation, we have written a n is equal to f of n minus 3. It is the same as we have written f of x is equal to 5x minus 3. Correct? Here we are talking with sequence, so that's why in place of x that we have worked till now, we are using n. And while going for the sequence series, this is the common notation that we are going to take a and in bracket n. And what the formula is, it is actually giving me that if I take n as an input, what will be the output. Correct? Sometimes users are using this a and in bracket n, or we can use it in a subscript also. So these are the two notations for an, which is a sequence, or you can say a symbol of sequence, which is actually a function with a domain of natural number. I have repeated so many times, so I think you must getting it. So this is the notation and an example that a n is equal to 5n minus 3. Now some other definitions are there related to the function and of this natural number with the domain, which we are calling as a sequence. So we are saying the element is this range of these functions are called terms of the sequence. We have not talked about range till now. Now we are saying the elements in the range of this function means whatever the values are coming. Uh, they are known as the terms of the sequence. For example, if this is the journal term, means if this is the function or the sequence, now it's better to call it as a sequence because it is a function, but we have named it as a sequence. What we are saying that the journal term is 5n minus 3. So on putting n is equal to 1, we will get the value as 2. On putting n is equal to 2, we will get the value 7. On n is equal to 3, we will get 12 and so on. Right? So whatever we are getting as an answer is actually the output of the function, and we are calling this is the range. Range means whatever is coming as a image of the domain elements. So what these called are, these are now known as the sequence terms. These are the terms of the sequence. Correct? And regarding the formula, because we are presenting an like this, so this is known as a general term of the sequence. Correct? And this is to be read a sub n, but normally we speak it as an. Correct? So this a sequence is from now we are saying that the general term of the an is this is the general term of the sequence, and on substituting n is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on, we are getting the first term, second term, third term, and so on. So these are the terms. Means just by substituting n is 1, we are getting a value. For n is equal to 2, another value, and so on. So these are the things which are going to happen in the sequence. So if I write down what are the terms we are getting, here we have 2, 7, 12, 22, and so on. Now what this is? This is the ellipsis, which shows that it is an infinite sequence. It's going on. So that's why when we are talking about this, we are saying and so on. And if we are going to and at a particular number, I'm not sure what is the last number going to be, that's why we have taken ellipsis. But if we are showing that this is the suppose k, a number is coming here and it's completed, no ellipsis is there, or sometime we write down comma dot 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 and comma k. So what it shows a finite sequence. So till now we have learned about the sequence. It is a function with domain as a natural number, and we have not talked about the range of codomain. The second thing we are saying that we have learned about the journal term an, which is a representation of the function, and then we are saying that whatever the values are coming, the terms, they are known as the terms of the sequence. So these are just the general notation. Hope so you are getting about sequence. Correct? We have learned about infinite sequence as well as finite sequence. So actually you can see we have just gone through the 3 slides, but we have learned a lot of things. Correct? So it is very interesting subject, or you can say a topic is also very interesting. Let us start with an examples, and hope so you have your pen and paper with you. Some solutions I have shown it to you, and some are not shown. I know the PPTs are with you, so we have to practice. That's why in some examples I have shown the questions. We will thought about something, then we will discuss the solution. Correct? So you have to be with your pen and paper. So let us start with example 1. What the first example is, we have been provided with the journal term of the sequence. This is the journal term an is equal to n into n minus 1 by 2. And what we are asking for, we have to find the first 5 terms as well as the 100th term. So I think it's easy, very easy to find out the first 5 terms. Means this is our an. What we have to do to find the first 5 terms, I have to put ns1, ns2, ns3, 4 and 5. Here you can see here, if I have substituted ns1, I am getting a1. Then at n is equal to 2, we are getting a2, then a3, a4 and a5. Correct? And how we are calculating n into n minus 1 by 2. If it is a1, so it is 1 into 1 minus 1 by 2. If it is a2, then it is 2 outside, 2 minus 1, 1 by 2. And you can do it orally also. Here it is elaborated because you are doing first time, so some clarification if needed, you're most welcome. But I think it's very easy to find out the first 5 term or first 4 terms that we usually ask from a user to calculate using the given sequence. Correct? Okay, now the next thing is how to find out the 100th term. One more thing is being asked now. We have obtained the first 5 terms and we are asking about the 100th term. So can you calculate? You have your pen and papers. I have not shown you the answer. I'm waiting for your response. Just put n is equal to 100 and tell me what answer you are getting. N into n minus 1 by 2, and that will be the 100th term. Correct? Write down your answer in the chat box, please. Start doing. Use your pen. Hope so. I'm audible to you. When you will write down, then I will be very sure. Yes, I got the answer. Good. Sumit has given me the answer. Others, please also try so that we can verify Sumit is saying correctly, but the answer he has given me is correct or not. Okay. Yes, do it. If you're not doing the calculation, also write down whatever you are writing out as a numerical part. Umesh is also getting the same answer. Others, please also try and let me know. Sanjeev, okay. 3 students has given me the same answer. Huh? What about others? Yes, fast please. We have not to waste time, and it is very easy that I have asked from you. We have calculated the first 5 terms and we are looking for the 100th term. And it's not so that we have to use the first terms, we have to just put the value of n. And I think it's clear what is the value of n given over here. Others, please also write. Otherwise, next time I will do that. I will ask you a question, and those who are giving me an answer, I will give the attendance only to those candidates. Huh? Rajun, what your answers are? Okay, Shivani also has given. Sanjeev, Manish, Sumit. 4 students has given an answer. चलिए, hope so. You have done on doing the calculation. So the answer is that we have just to put n is equal to 100 to determine the 100th term of the sequence, and we will get a 100 is equal to n, means 100 into 100 minus 1 by 2. Correct? So 100 by 2 is 50. Either I have to multiply 50 with 99, or I can say 99 by 2 into 100. So in the both way we can get the answer, which is coming as 4950. Raghunath, you are not getting a correct answer. Beta. Just check your calculation. I don't know where the mistake is. 99 is there, so if I divide it by 2, 2 4s are 8, 1 9, then 2 9s are 18, 1 0, 2 5s are 10, and then 0 as such. Correct. We got it, what the mistake is. So let's start with the next term. You have to find out the first 5 terms of this sequence. An is given by minus 1 raised to power n, x raised to power n plus 1. Now here you can see we are going to find out the first 5 terms, but here x is not given to us as a numerical value. So try to find out. Here you will get the terms of x. We have to put n is equal to 1, n is equal to 2, n is equal to 3, 4 and 5. So it's simple. The only change is there we have obtained a numerical value. Here we are looking for the terms, because here we have in the expression x raised to power n plus 1. Let me do for the first one, and then you have to write in your answer. If I take the value of n as 1, so it will give me a1. a1 means minus 1 raised to power 1. So it will give me a negative answer, minus. And then we have x raised to power n plus 1. Means here if I write down, for n is equal to 1, a1 is equal to minus, and x raised to power 2. Correct? And orally also you can do it. But the answers are right on your notebook that I am going to show you. So these are the answers. Minus of x square. A2 means minus 1 square, and x is power 2 plus 1 gives me x cube. Then it becomes, means every time it's going on we are multiplying with minus of x. We can do it like this also. If we have calculated minus x square at the first one, minus of x square, I will multiply it with minus of x, because this is what is going to be increased. So it becomes minus minus positive and it becomes x cube. The next time it becomes minus, because we are multiplying with minus, and x cube becomes x4. Then it becomes x5 with positive sign, with negative x6. So these are the answers that we have to write down as the first 5 terms of the sequence. Now till now we have learned about the sequence. Now what the change is, we are talking about a series. So what is the difference between the sequence and the series? You have to be very careful, because sometimes we have learned both sequence and series and got confused in both of them. So you have to be very clear. Till now what we have learned as a sequence. Sequence means we are getting an. Let me write on here what we have learned till now. We are getting that we have sequence is a type of function with the domain as a set of natural number, and an is given by some formula, and by putting n is equal to 1 2 3 4 and so on, we are getting the terms of the sequence. That is what we have learned. Now what we are going to learn is series. Series is the sum of terms of sequence. What we are saying, series is the sum of terms of sequence. Whatever we are getting as a terms, if we add them, then we are going to get a series. And some of the terms of an infinite sequence, we have learned about the infinite and finite sequence, correct? So here we are saying the sum of terms of the infinite sequence. If I have an infinite sequence, obviously it will result in an infinite series, and we will denote it by S infinity. This is the notation of the infinite series. But if we have a finite sequence, we have finite sequence, or we can take from the infinite, we are going to take the sum of first n terms in a sequence. It is called a partial sum denoted by Sn. For example, here we have given a sequence of positive odd integer. Positive odd integer, we have started with positive means we have one, all positive. Odd and integer. Odd means 1, 3, 5 and they are all integers. Correct? So what we are going to say, this is our sequence and we are going to add them 1 plus 3 plus 5 to so on. So it becomes an infinite series, and S5 we have written the sum of first 5 terms. So here the changes, here we are saying plus so on, plus ellipses. It means we can't give an answer over here because it is going to be infinite, and here it is obvious that we are getting 25 as the fifth partial sum. So this is the change. Is it correct? What we are saying, first we have learned about the sequence. Sequence means it is a function going from the set of natural number, and then we have learned that sequence can be finite or it could be infinite. We have learned about the representation. We have learned about how we can calculate the nth term or a particular term. Now we are saying if we add the values, if we add the terms of the sequence, then it will result in a series, and we can have either an infinite series or we can have a finite series, and these are the notations: S infinity and Sn. Correct? So this is what we are having as a series. So let us have an example. How we are saying we have been provided with the, what is this, series or a sequence? The provided thing is a sequence, and we are going to find out, determine the third and fifth partial sum of the sequence. So what the terminology we are using is, we are saying, just a minute, we are saying the third partial sum. Third partial sum means we have to find out S3, and third partial sum means we have to find out the sum of first 3 terms. Similarly, if we are talking about the fifth partial sum means we have to add the first 5 terms. Correct? So this is how we are getting, and we remember the notation is Sn if we are going for the partial sum, otherwise it is S infinity. So what we are saying here, S3 is equal to sum of first 3 terms, which is 9, and S5 is the sum of 5 terms, which is giving me 33. Correct? So this is the type of questions we will have for the sequence and series. We have been provided with a sequence and we are finding out the sum as a partial sum of the series. Here we have an example for you. You have to use your pen and paper again. Here we are saying evaluate K2 to 5, and we have used this summation. What summation means is whatever the terms are coming, we have to add them. Correct? So first thing is I have to use K from 2 to 5. So it will be a sum. If I have to write on the series, it will be S2, 3, 4, 5. We have to see how many terms we are going to add, and then we have to write down by taking minus 1 raised to power K. Minus 1 raised to power K means minus 1 ka square and 3 to the 6. So we are getting the first term. Do the likes term. I'm not going to do it. I'm waiting for your response. Write down for 3 here plus the term with K is equal to 4, and the final one with K is equal to 5. I know it's very easy. Might be you're saying these are the very simple questions, but obviously it's a part of your course, so it is very good that you are getting some simple questions to pass out in your exams, isn't it? So write down your answers, and I am looking for the answer response from each and every one of you. Take K is equal to 3, K is equal to 4, K is equal to 5. Write down the answers, and then we will show what the correct answer is. And you have not to take much of the time because it's very simple. The first term we have already calculated is 6. Right? The second term you have to see when k is equal to 3 what it becomes and write as an answer. Yes, find out the answer with them. And you have to be fast because these are the simple questions. If you are taking so much time in these simple questions, I don't know what's going to happen when the questions are hard. Yes, hurry up better. I don't know the answer. Okay, let me do it in my own notebook and let's see if you can do faster than me or not. The first term if we have is minus 1 is power k into 3k. So if I take k is equal to 2, it becomes 2 means I'm getting a positive sign and it becomes 6. Correct? Plus then k becomes 3 means I'm getting a negative sign and 3 3 is a 9. Then again I will get a positive sign and now k becomes 4. 4 means 3 4 is a 12. And finally I will get an answer with minus and 3 5 is a 15. So now you are giving me answer or not?
Ma'am, answer is -6.
Minus 6. Okay, let's wait for
Yeah.
others. Can I ask you, Beta, why you have taken so much time and still I'm not getting any response?
Ma'am, I already answered 1 minute ago in the messages.
Okay, but I'm not getting. I'm not sure where the difference is.
Ma'am, we
Okay,
have text you.
okay, but see, ठीक है. Done. Might be वो refresh नहीं हुआ था. So, but you are getting different answers. Some of you are giving me the answer which is 9. Some of you are giving me the answer which is minus 6. So two answers are coming to me. Let's see which one is correct. Those who are getting whatever answers, please check it because the answer which is correct is only one. I'm getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 responses. Others, please also write. Whatever you are getting, please write. Yes, Gagandip, correct. Shivani, check your answer. Raghunath, it's not correct. Sumit is okay. Sanjeev, beta, check your answer. Shivani, beta, you have written an answer. I don't think which is correct. Hmm? Try to write down the correct answer. And it's so simple. Means according to me, you have just to take a is equal to 2, 3, 4, 5, and you have to evaluate it and write an answer. Okay. Raghunath is saying to solve it here. So we have the solution, but let me do it by myself first using the pointer because the question is really very easy. I don't know where the mistake is going on. Chali, let's do. Not to waste time. What we have here, we have to take k value is equal to 2. Then this k is going to take the value which is 3. Then we have the same k going to take the value 4 because we have used summation. So that's why we are going to add the terms. And we have written k is equal to 2 and the superscript is 5. So what it means is k is taking the value from 2 to 5. Correct? So first we have to be very clear regarding the representation. And finally, when we have taken the summation, we have first term plus second term plus third and fourth term going from 2 to 5. So if we have here, we have minus 1 square into 6 means finally we are getting the value 6. If I take k is equal to 3, when k is equal to 3, Then we have this is negative sign because it's going to be alternating plus minus, and 3 3s that gives me 9. Oops, it's correct. Then again k become 4 means even number, so minus 1 raised to power even means a positive sign, and this time 3 into 4 gives me 12. Correct. And the final term is 5, which gives me a negative sign, and 3 5s are 5 into 3. You have to multiply every time k value with 3. So we are getting the value which is 15. So if I have these terms, so what I can see 12 plus 6 18. 18 minus 9 gives me 9. This is how I can simplify. And then finally we have 9 minus 15, and the difference of 9 and 15 is 6, and it's coming in negative because we have to take the sign of the bigger number. Correct. So now this is the final answer. I think it must be clear to you. There should be no doubt. Let's have the solution here also, how they have solved. I think the same thing the author has done. Minus 1 square into 3 into 2 minus 1 cube, 3 into 3 minus 1 4, 3 into 4 minus 1 raised to power 5, 3 into 5, and finally it's giving me answer minus 6. Correct. Let's start with the next. Here we are saying you have to write in the expanded form, and the summation is going from n0 to infinity. So can you write down the terms? Just write on your own notebook, not to write on your chat box, because then I have to wait for you what you're doing and how you're doing. So just write down, take some time, and then we are going to see the solution. Here we are saying n is equal to 0 to infinity. It means if let me use my pen and paper so that I can see what your speed is. You can go with my speed or not. So let's discuss, and then we will see the solution. On my pen and paper, if I have to do, then what I will do, here the summation is from n0 to infinity, correct? And I will write down n divided by n plus 1. If I take n is equal to 0, n is equal to 0 means 0 divided by 0 plus 1. This is the first term. And here we are saying again summation. So here we have to write down the first term plus second term plus third term plus. And since it is infinite, we must be thinking about that how many terms we need. So there is nothing to worry. It depends upon student to student. Somebody are writing out 3 terms, 4 terms, or 5 term maximum. Then what we have to do, we have to write down the term and put the 3 dots. And these 3 dots ellipses means it is an infinite series. Correct? So if I have to write down, the first time is coming 0 by 1 is equal to 0. Yes, Sumit?
Ma'am, the first term is 0, second term is 1 by 2, then third term is 2 by 3, then 3 by 4, then 4 by 5, and then so on.
Correct. So this is how we are doing. Means if we put n is equal to 0, I will get 0 by 0 plus 1. 0 by 1 means it's 0. If I take n is equal to 1, so it becomes 1 by 1 plus 1. It gives me 1 by 2. Then next n becomes 2. So it becomes 2, 2 plus 1, 3, 2 by 3. And the next becomes 3, 3 by 4. Means if you will start writing out, it's very easy to see that here we have, if we have 1 here, it's coming out 1 and then 2. Here we have again 2 because it's starting with the next term, where the next term is actually this denominator. So this is how we can write down the expanded form. So here the same thing is there, but the book writer have written that it can be expanded as this, and you just have to take care that how to write down the summation, and we must be aware of that either it is a finite series or an infinite series. Correct? So this is how we have to write down, and these are the terms in this infinite. Now what is this? Sequence or series?
Ma'am,
Hmm?
ma'am, like if there will be no infinite or 30-digit number or 40-digit number, we have to write all that.
Raghunath, not getting you, but please repeat.
Ma'am, here is n equals to 0 and then
Hmm?
into infinite. If
Hmm.
there will be no infinite, like 0 to 50 digits, so we have to write like 0 to 50 digits, or we just write 4 digits.
Actually, it's true. Means if it is, suppose you are saying that we have the limits from 0 to 50, and the author
Yes,
is
ma'am.
saying or the examiner is saying that you have to write on the expanded form, obviously you have to go for it. Otherwise, it will not be asked. because examiner know it's not feasible to write down these 50 terms. So they always ask to write down the either first 5 terms, first 6 terms, or first 4 terms. These type of questions should be asked. Correct? So either some finite number of terms will be asked, or if we are saying just write down the expanded form, because we know it's going from the infinity, so you have to write down 4 or 5 terms. You have not to go to the maximum terms that whatever time is available. No, you have to write down just the 4 or 5 terms. Correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is the question that we have been asked to write in expanded form this given question, and we have taken some four here. We have taken 4 terms, and I think when we have started it, we have taken 4 terms. But we can go for more terms if we require, but not necessary. You have to just write in 4 to 5 terms and put ellipses. If you are not putting ellipses, obviously then there is a mistake, because examiner will say you have written a finite thing, but actually it is a infinite one. Correct? So this is what we are looking for. So whatever we have learned till now is series. We have learned about the series, what series is. We have learned about the infinite series and finite series. Now we are going to start with the arithmetic sequence that we sometimes known as AP or AS. Normally we talk about arithmetic progression. It is the same thing. We call it as arithmetic sequence also. But more familiarly, when we have learned about it, then we normally used to say, okay, this is a series of AP or GP. So AP means progression, which is another name of arithmetic sequence. So let us start with the topic arithmetic sequence or arithmetic progression. Both are the same things. So what it is? It is a sequence of numbers where each successive number is the sum of previous number and some constant d. Means suppose we have a number. Let us take example written over here. Here we have 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Of both.
Ma'am, your voice is breaking.
Okay, let me close the door. Might be due to some interruption. Wait, please. Here we are saying that till now we have learned about the sequences and series, that in common what we mean by the sequence and what we mean by the series. Now we are going to start with the arithmetic sequence or arithmetic progression, and what it means is that if we have a sequence written over here, that you can say 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 like this. So what we are saying, it is called to be in AP or in arithmetic sequence when each successive number means, let me take about 3. Each successive number is the sum of the previous number, this plus some constant. So if we can see 3 is equal to 1 plus 2. Correct? We can write down 3 as 1 plus 2. It is the sum of the previous number 1 and the constant 2. Similarly, if we talk about 5. Close the door, please. If we talk about 5, we can write on 5 as 3 plus 2, means this term is equal to the previous number plus 2 again, means every time we are adding 2 to get the next term. Means one way we have learned that we have a general term that we can say an is equal to, if I talk about here, then we can say an is equal to 2n minus 1. This is the general term that we have seen, that how to write on a sequence. But here we are just looking at it in a different form. We are saying that each term of the arithmetic sequence is being calculated as a sum of the previous number and some constant d. So what we have here, we can write down in the general form that each an, the general term an, can be written as an minus 1. An minus 1 is denoting the previous term. So an is equal to an minus 1 plus some constant d. And what this d is known as a common difference. Correct? So from here, what we can see how to calculate what is the common difference. D can be written as the difference of the two numbers in arithmetic series. Means if I told you that this is the arithmetic series and I'm asking about what is the d, the common difference, or how I will check that the given sequence is an arithmetic sequence or not. In order to check it, I have to see that the difference, means from 3, if I subtract 1, I will get a number which is 2. From 5, if I will subtract 3, what I will get? I will again get 2. From 7, if I subtract 5, I will get 2. Means the difference of each number and its previous is 2. Correct? So if this is the property we are looking in some sequence, so that sequence is known as a arithmetic sequence. Correct? So this is what we have learned in this particular slide. What we are talking about arithmetic sequences. A given sequence will be an arithmetic sequence if the terms in the sequence are being separated by a common difference d. The difference between the two successive numbers is always d. Correct? So here, if they have elaborated what they are saying, that here the first term is 1, the first term is 1, and the difference between any two successive terms. Successive means in continuation. So here we are saying, okay, just a minute, coming back. Yes, here we are saying that the difference between the two successive terms is 2. And how we can represent it? We can write on the general term as, here we have written an is equal to an minus 1 plus the common difference. This is a general way to write an arithmetic sequence. But here if we have an example, as we have 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, so I can write on an is equal to an minus 1 plus 2. The common difference here is 2. Correct? So this is the way how we can represent the arithmetic sequence. So it is being continued with the same thing. Here in this slide, if you have seen, we have just shown the same thing again, that A1 is 1, A2 is A1 plus 2, A3 is A2 plus 2, A4 is A3 plus 2. I think this all thing we have already discussed. Correct? And here they have shown how we can see the common difference and how we can write on a particular term. So can you see how we have written? So here we have A2 can be written as A1 plus the common difference. A3 is equal to A2 plus D. Correct? It is the common difference with 2, with A2. So if I again write down A2 as A1 plus D, how we can write down? A2 can be written as A1 plus D and plus D that was outside. Correct? So it means if I have to see how A3 and A1 are related, they are differ by a difference of 2D. Correct? It is the difference between A1 and A3. Means A1, A2 are differ by one difference D. A1 and A3, if we talk about, they are differ by two difference. Similarly, if I have to write down A4, A4 in the terms of A1 or any other number, how we can write down? A4 is to be written as A3 plus D. A3 again can be written as, either we can write down as A2 plus D. Here we have written directly in terms of A1. So A3 is A1 plus 2D and plus D. So as a total, we can get A1 plus 3D. And similarly, A5, if we have written, it can be written as A1 plus 4D. I hope so you are getting it. So here what we have actually done, we have written each term, each in terms of the first term, A1. That how A3 can be related to A1, A4 can be related to A1, and A5 can be related to A1. And if I have to write on a journal thing from all these what we have done and why we have done, because we want to write down an is equal to a1 means we have to write down the general form that how an and a1 are related. So if we go through it, we have an is equal to a1 plus n minus 1 times d. What we have written, let's see, a5, we remove the pointer and go to it again. We have taken a5, if we concentrate, a5 is equal to a1 plus 4d. 4 I can write down, if it is an, then if it is 5, here we have 4. Here if we have 4, it is 3 here. If we have 3, here we have 2. If we have 2, then there is nothing, it means there is 1. So this is how we can write down that if for this particular example, we have an is equal to a1 plus n minus 1 times d. So this is the general form of writing out the arithmetic sequence. Correct? Okay, let's start with an example. If you have obtained the knowledge of the arithmetic sequence, how we can write it down. Let's start with the first example, and after that I will stop and we'll continue the same thing in the next lecture. Till then, what you have to do is you have to go with your PPT, whatever we have learned, because I know the concept is very simple, but sometime it got confusion regarding how what the D is, how to obtain, how to write down. Earlier concept we have learned about the definitions, so I think they are very easy. If you go through it with the PPT, then it's enough for your knowledge. Correct? If you have to practice, obviously you can take the NCERT mathematics from 10th and 12th. You can take this portion and you can practice it. Okay. Let us start with an example. What we are saying here, we are saying find an equation for the journal term of the given arithmetic sequence and use it to calculate the 100th term. We are talking about some terms are given to you. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 terms are given. We are saying we have to find out an equation. This is the first task. We have to find equation for the journal term. Journal term means we are looking for the value of an. So this is the first term we are looking for, how to write down an. Correct? Then we are saying we have to calculate the 100th term. Means if an is calculated, obviously we can calculate the 100th term. Correct? So this is what we are looking for. So let's see how to do. Here we have 7, 10, 13, 16 and 19. So if we just observe what the pattern is, what the difference between the term is, here we have 7. 7 plus 3 gives me 10. 10 plus 3 gives me 13. 13 plus 3 gives me 16. And 16 plus 3 gives me 19. So this is what the difference is. It means we have a common difference of 3. So how we can write down? We can write down an is equal to, okay, here we have, okay, let me write down the first thing that I was saying is, I can write down an is equal to an minus 1 plus 3. Correct? So this is the one thing that I can write down, that the difference between the each term and its previous term is of 3. So this gives me the knowledge that the D value is 3. Correct? Now what we are saying for an equation as the general term, so what we have learned here is the general term, that if I have to write down, I can write down an is equal to a1 plus n minus 1 of D. So here we have used it. An is equal to a1 plus n minus 1 of t. So if you observe, a1 means the first term is 7 and the common difference is 3. So if I substitute here, I will get 7 plus n minus 1 into 3 is equal to an. This is the value. So if I simplify it, it will give me 7 plus 3n minus 3, which is equal to 3n plus 4. So this is how we can write down the general term. Let's see if it is giving me the answer or not. An is equal to, what we are getting, an is equal to 3n plus 4. Correct? So what it means if I put n is equal to 1, at n is equal to 1 we have 7, and it's, I think, correct, 3 and plus 4 gives me 7. If n becomes 2, for n is equal to 2, I will get the value 3 into 2, 6, and 6 plus 4. So 6 plus 4 gives me the value 10. The second term, if n is equal to 3, n is equal to 3 means we have 3 3s are 9, and 9 plus 4. 9 plus 4, 13. I think it's correct. Means first term we are getting is 7, then 10, and then 13. And this always you have to do whenever you are finding out a general term, and then after you have to proceed. So if you have obtained the general term, it's fine. Whatever you have done, now we have to check it also by yourself. Examiner will check at the other time, but we have to be very confident regarding whatever we have calculated is correct or not. So I think it's correct. So this is what we are getting. Now what we have to calculate the next thing, we have to find out the 100th term. So how we can write down, since this is the general term, so how I can write down 800, 800 means it is 3 into 100, 300 and plus 4. So the 100th term is 304. Okay, so let's see. Here also we are getting the answer. AN is 300 plus 4 and 800 is 304. So what we have learned? We have learned how to calculate the common difference, and we have learned how to write down the general term in terms of the n when the given progression is arithmetic progression. And whenever you have calculated the general term, obviously using this you can find out any of the term, might be say 100 or 200, whatever you have to calculate. Okay? So this is all about the today's lecture. Let me stop with this. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. Otherwise, we will continue with this, and we'll cover the next coming topic of GP also in the tomorrow lecture. If I show you what I have sent it to you, this is the whole with arithmetic sequence, and then we will work with the arithmetic series. So a lot of questions are there, because here the most important part is the practice thing. If we are practicing, then the formulas are very less, and what I can suggest you is to make out a summary type of thing, that today we have learned this thing, and here we have learned these formulas. If you are maintaining these type of a summary book, then obviously it will be very helpful to you when you are going to face the exam. So whenever you are going to prepare for the examination, you have no need to go through the each and everything, each and every example. Just you have to go through the examples which are very important, or you think that yes, they are having something different, or you have to just go through the summary sheet for the formulas that you have written. Correct? So for the time being, let us stop. If you have any doubt, you can ask me, or we are going to stop. So let me stop the recording.